Have you ever loved someone so much that you gave up everything for them? Your family, your home, your entire life, your country, everything you ever knew, only to discover that the person you loved was living a complete lie the whole time, that every word they said was false, that every promise they made was empty. Today's story will break your heart into pieces, but it will also teach you something very important about trust, love, and the dangers of blind faith. A quiet Sunday afternoon, rain pours down outside. The streets are wet and empty, but inside a small coffee cafe, warmth fills the air, the smell of fresh coffee, the sound of soft music. Four old friends sit at their usual table by the window: Mark, Tom, Daniel, and Henry. They are all over 60 years old now. Their hair is gray, their faces have wrinkles, their hands shake a little when they hold their cups, but their eyes still shine bright when they talk about the past, when they remember who they used to be. Every Sunday these four men meet here. Same time, same table, same drinks. They have been doing this for 15 years. They drink coffee, they eat cake. They laugh about old times. They share stories about their youth, about their mistakes, about their victories, about the women they loved, about the dreams they chased. Today is different, though. Today Daniel has something heavy on his heart, a story he kept buried for 40 years, a secret he never told anyone. Not his children, not his second wife, not even these three best friends sitting across from him. The cafe is warm and cozy. Soft jazz plays from the speakers. Rain hits the windows outside. Daniel sits quietly. He holds his coffee cup with both hands, but he does not drink. He just stares into the dark liquid. His friends notice something is wrong. They can see the pain in his eyes. They can feel the weight of whatever he is carrying. Mark leans forward. His voice is gentle. "Daniel, what is it?" he asks. Tom stops drinking his coffee. Henry puts down his phone. All three men look at their friend with concern. Daniel takes a deep breath. His hands shake. "I need to tell you something," he says quietly. His voice cracks a little. "Something I never told anyone. Something that destroyed me 40 years ago. Something I am still ashamed of today." The cafe suddenly feels very quiet. Even the music seems to fade. His friends wait. They know this is serious. They know Daniel needs to speak. After a long pause, Daniel finally begins. "When I was 25 years old, I fell in love. The kind of love that makes you crazy. The kind of love that makes you blind to everything else. Stay with us until the very end of this video, because the truth Daniel discovered about the woman he loved will shock you completely. The betrayal he faced will make you angry, and the lesson he learned might actually save you from making the same terrible mistake he made." Daniel's voice becomes softer as he travels back in time, back to when he was young, back to when life felt full of possibility. "It was 1985, he says. I was 25 years old, fresh out of college, full of energy, full of dreams. I worked for a small export company in New York. My boss sent me to Italy for a business trip. Rome, the Eternal City. I had never been to Europe before. Everything amazed me. The old buildings, the narrow streets, the food, the language, the culture."
If you want to uncover more untold secrets about the lives of Mark, Tom, Daniel, and Henry, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like.
It felt like a different world. Daniel stayed in Rome for 3 weeks. He attended meetings during the day, but his evenings were free. He walked the streets alone. He visited museums. He ate at small restaurants. He tried to learn a few Italian words. One rainy afternoon, he needed a map of the city. He walked into a small bookstore near the Spanish Steps. The shop was old and dusty. Books filled every corner. The smell of old paper hung in the air, and behind the counter stood the most beautiful woman Daniel had ever seen. "Her name was Isabella," Daniel says, his yes get distant, like he can still see her. She had long dark hair that fell past her shoulders, brown eyes the color of honey, olive skin that glowed in the dim light. She wore a simple blue dress, no makeup, no jewelry. She did not need any of that. She was naturally beautiful. When she smiled at me, I forgot why I came into the store. I forgot my own name. Isabella spoke English, not perfect, but good enough. Daniel asked for a map. She showed him several options, but he barely looked at them. He could not stop staring at her. He bought 3 maps he did not need, just to have a reason to stay longer. They talked. She asked him about America. He asked her about Rome. Minutes turned into an hour. When he finally left, he felt like he was floating. The next day, Daniel went back to the bookstore. He said he needed a guidebook. Isabella smiled. She seemed happy to see him again. They talked even longer this time. Daniel learned that she was 23 years old. She had worked at the bookstore for 2 years. She loved reading, especially poetry and romance novels. She dreamed of traveling the world one day, but she had no money, no family to help her. She lived alone in a tiny apartment near the Colosseum. She told me her parents died in a car accident when she was 18, Daniel explains. She had no brothers, no sisters, no aunts or uncles. She was completely alone in the world. When she said that, my heart broke for her. I wanted to protect her. I wanted to take care of her. I wanted to give her everything she never had. Daniel visited that bookstore every single day for the rest of his trip, sometimes twice a day. He bought books he could not read because they were in Italian. He bought postcards he never sent. He bought anything just to have an excuse to talk to Isabella. They started meeting after she finished work. They walked through the streets of Rome together. They ate gelato. They sat by the Trevi fountain. They talked about everything, their childhoods, their fears, their hopes, their dreams. Isabella told him she felt trapped in Rome. She said the city was beautiful but lonely. She said she had no real friends, no one who truly cared about her. She worked 6 days a week at the bookstore. She earned barely enough to pay rent. Her life felt empty, small, without purpose. When she said these things, Daniel felt a fire growing inside him. He wanted to rescue her. He wanted to be her hero. He wanted to give her a better life. After 2 weeks, Daniel knew something for certain. This was not just attraction. This was not just vacation, romance. This was real love. The kind of love poets write about. The kind of love people search for their whole lives. He could not imagine going back to America without her. He could not imagine his life without Isabella in it. He saw their future clearly. Marriage, a house with a garden, children, growing old together, everything. On his last night in Rome, Daniel took Isabella to dinner at a restaurant overlooking the city. Candles flickered on the table. Stars filled the sky above them. His heart pounded in his chest. This was the moment. He reached across the table and held her hands. "Isabella," he said, "I know this sounds crazy. I know we have only known each other for 3 weeks. But I love you. I have never been more sure of anything in my life. Come with me to America. Marry me. Let me give you the life you deserve." Tears filled Isabella's eyes. She pulled her hands away. She looked down at the table. "Daniel, I cannot," she whispered. "This is my home. My life is here. I cannot just leave everything." Daniel's heart sank, but he did not give up. "What life?" he asked gently. "You said yourself you are lonely here. You have no family, no friends. You work all day for almost nothing. In America, we can build something beautiful together. You can go to school. You can become anything you want. I will take care of you. I promise." Isabella cried harder. She arid her face with her hands. Daniel moved his chair closer. He put his arm around her. "Please," he begged. "Give us a chance. Give yourself a chance for happiness." After a long silence, Isabella finally looked up. Her eyes were red from crying. "I need time," she said. "This is too much, too fast. I need to think. I need to close the bookstore properly. I need to say goodbye to my life here. Give me 6 months. If you still want me after 6 months, I will come to you. I promise." 6 months felt like forever to Daniel, but he agreed. What choice did he have? He gave her his address in New York, his phone number. He made her promise to call him every week. He gave her $500 to help with expenses. It was most of his savings, but he did not care. Money meant nothing. Isabella meant everything. Daniel flew back to America with a broken heart, but also with hope. Hope that in 6 months Isabella would be his forever. He could not eat. He could not sleep. He could barely focus on work. His mind stayed in Rome. His heart stayed with Isabella. He called her every night. The international calls cost a fortune, but he did not care. They talked for hours. She told him about her day. He told her about his plans for their future. He was already looking at apartments, bigger places, places where they could start a family. Daniel's family was not happy. His mother cried when he told her about Isabella. "You barely know this girl," she said. "How can you trust someone you met 3 weeks ago? How do you know she is not using you? How do you know she is telling the truth?" His father was even more Rome. "I am not alone. I have 2 sisters, and—" She stopped. She could not say it. "And what?" Daniel demanded, his whole direct. "You are being a fool," he said. "Wake up before it is too late." Daniel's younger sister tried to be supportive, but even she had doubts. "Just be careful," she warned. "Protect your heart." But Daniel did not listen to any of them. He could not. Love had taken over his mind completely. Love made him deaf to warnings. Love made him blind to red flags. Love made him ignore his family's concerns. He believed in Isabella completely. He trusted her with everything. She would never lie to him. She would never hurt him. She loved him just as much as he loved her. He was sure of it. 6 months passed slowly. Every day felt like a week. Every week felt like a month. But finally the day arrived. Daniel stood at JFK Airport in New York. His heart raced. His hands sweated. He held a bouquet of red roses. He watched the gate where passengers from Rome would exit. Then he saw her. Isabella walked through the doors pulling a small suitcase. She looked tired. Her eyes had dark circles under them. Her smile seemed nervous. But she was here. She was really here. Daniel ran to her. He lifted her off the ground and spun her around. "You came," he whispered. "You actually came." Isabella hugged him tight. "I promised," she said softly. They went straight to Daniel's apartment. It was small but clean. He had prepared everything. Fresh flowers on the table, new sheets on the bed, food in the refrigerator. He wanted everything to be perfect. Isabella looked around quietly. She did not say much. Daniel thought she was just tired from the long flight, jet lag, culture shock. She would adjust soon. She would be happy soon. He just needed to give her time. 2 weeks later, they got married. Daniel wanted to wait longer. He wanted to plan a big wedding, but Isabella said no. "Let us do it now," she insisted. "Small and simple, just us. I do not need anything fancy, I just need you." Daniel thought this was romantic. She did not care about expensive things. She just wanted to be his wife. So they went to City Hall. They signed papers. They exchanged simple gold rings. A stranger took their photo. That was it. They were husband and wife. Daniel's family did not attend. His mother refused to come. His father hung up the phone when Daniel invited him. Only his sister sent a card with $50 inside. Daniel felt hurt, but he told himself it did not matter. His family would come around eventually. Once they met Isabella, once they saw how happy she made him, everything would be fine. Daniel worked hard to give Isabella a good life. He took extra shifts at his job. He worked weekends. He worked nights. He wanted to save money for a house, for their future children. Isabella stayed home most of the time. She said she was learning English. She said she was adjusting to American culture. She did not look for work. Daniel did not push her. He wanted her to feel comfortable first. He wanted her to feel safe and loved. But something felt wrong. Daniel could not explain it exactly. Isabella seemed distant. She barely smiled anymore. She rarely wanted to go out. When Daniel came home from work, she was always on the phone. She would quickly hang up when he entered the room. "Who was that?" he would ask. "Nobody," she would say. "Just wrong number." When he asked her to call, her friends back in Rome, she said she had no friends. When he suggested visiting Italy together, she refused. "I never want to go back there," she said firmly. "That life is over." Months passed. Daniel tried everything to make Isabella happy. He took her to restaurants. He bought her clothes. He surprised her with jewelry. But nothing worked. She remained cold, distant, like a stranger living in his home. At night she turned away from him in bed. During dinner she barely spoke. When he told her he loved her, she said nothing back, just nodded, just smiled weakly. Daniel started to worry. Maybe his family was right. Maybe he made a mistake. Maybe Isabella did not really love him. Maybe she just wanted to escape Italy. Maybe she used him for a green card. These thoughts tortured him. But he pushed them away. No. He was being paranoid. Marriage was hard. Adjustment took time. Things would get better. He just needed to be patient. He just needed to love her more. 1 year passed since Isabella arrived in America. Daniel decided to plan something special for their anniversary. A romantic dinner. Maybe it would bring them closer. Maybe it would fix whatever was broken between them. He made reservations at an expensive Italian restaurant. He bought her a gold necklace. He left work early to surprise her at home. Daniel opened the door to his apartment quietly. He wanted to surprise Isabella, but he was the one who got surprised. Isabella was on the phone. She was speaking Italian rapidly, crying. He could not understand most of the words, but he heard one word clearly, over and over. Bambini, bambini, children. His Italian was basic, but he knew that word. Why was she talking about children? Isabella heard the door close. She spun around. Her face went white. She quickly hung up the phone. "Daniel," she said. Her voice shook. "You are home early." Daniel stood frozen. His mind raced. "Who were you talking to?" he asked. His voice came out harder than he intended. "Nobody," Isabella said quickly. "Just someone from the old bookstore checking on me." Daniel did not believe her, not anymore. "Why were you talking about children?" he demanded. Isabella's eyes filled with tears. She sat down on the couch. Her whole body trembled. "Daniel, please," she whispered. "Let it go. Just let it go." But Daniel could not let it go. Not this time. Too many secrets, too many strange phone calls, too many lies. "Tell me the truth," he said. "Right now, who were you talking to? Why were you crying about children?" The silence in the room was heavy, thick, suffocating. Isabella buried her face in her hands. She sobbed. Deep, painful sobs that shook her entire body. Daniel's heart pounded. Fear gripped his chest. What was she about to say? What truth was she hiding? Minutes passed. Finally, Isabella looked up. Her face was red and wet with tears. "I am so sorry," she whispered. "I am so sorry." "Sorry for what?" Daniel asked. His voice was barely a whisper now. Isabella took a shaky breath. "I lied to you," she said. "About everything. My parents are not dead. They are alive and world was crashing down. He could feel it. And I have a husband," Isabella finally said. "And 2 children. A boy and a girl. They are back in Rome." The words hit Daniel like a truck. He actually stumbled backwards. He grabbed the wall to steady himself. "What?" he said, but it came out as a gasp, not a word. "I was married when I met you," Isabella continued through her tears. "My husband, he was not a good man. He drank, he hit me, he made my life hell. I wanted to escape. When I met you, I saw a way out, a chance for a new life, a better life, in America, away from him. I know it was wrong. I know I should have told. But I was desperate. I was drowning. You were my only hope." Daniel could not breathe, could not think, could not process what he was hearing. "You have children?" he repeated. His voice sounded strange, far away. "2 children, you left them?" Isabella nodded. "My mother takes care of them. I send money, the money you give me, I send it all to them. That is who I call every day. My children, my mother. I miss them so much it kills me. But I could not bring them here. How could I? You thought I was single. You thought I was alone. How could I tell you the truth?" Daniel fell into a chair. His legs gave out. His entire body went numb. 1 year. He had been married to a lie for 1 year. The woman he loved did not exist. Isabella was not who she said she was. Nothing was real. Nothing was true. Their marriage was a fraud. Their love was a lie. Everything he sacrificed. Everything he gave up. His family, his money, his trust. All for a woman who was using him. All for a woman who already had a whole other life. A husband, children, a family she left behind. "How could you do this?" Daniel finally asked. Tears ran down his face now, too. "How could you lie to me for so long? I gave you everything. I loved you with my whole heart. I would have died for you, and all of it was fake?" Isabella reached for his hand. He pulled away. "It was not all fake," she cried. "I do care about you. You saved me. You gave me a new life. But I was trapped. I made a terrible choice. And now I am trapped again. Trapped between 2 lives, 2 worlds. I do not belong anywhere." Daniel stood up. He walked to the bedroom. He pulled out a suitcase. "What are you doing?" Isabella asked. Fear filled her voice. "Packing your things," Daniel said. His voice was cold now, empty. "You need to leave, tonight, right now." Isabella began to beg. She fell to her knees. "Please, Daniel, please do not send me back. He will kill me. My husband will kill me for leaving. I have nowhere to go. Please." But Daniel could not look at her, could not listen. His heart was shattered into a million pieces. Every word she spoke was poison. Every tear she cried was manipulation. He threw clothes into the suitcase. "You should have thought about that before you destroyed my life," he said. "You used me. You lied to me. You made me turn against my own family. For what? For a green card? For money to send to your real family?" Isabella tried to explain more, tried to make him understand. But Daniel was done listening. He called a taxi. He gave her $300, more than she deserved. He put her suitcase by the door. When the taxi arrived, he opened the door. "Go," he said. "Go back to your real family, your real life. Leave me alone." Isabella looked at him one last time. "I am sorry," she whispered. "I truly am." Then she walked out of the apartment, out of his life forever. Back in the cafe, Daniel wipes his eyes. His 3 friends sit in shocked silence. Rain still falls outside, but inside everything feels different, heavier, sadder. "What happened after that?" Mark finally asks. Daniel takes a sip of his cold coffee. "I filed for an annulment," he says. "It took time. But eventually our marriage was erased, like it never happened. Legally, anyway. In my heart it took much longer to erase. I did not speak to my family for 2 years," Daniel continues. "I was too ashamed, too embarrassed. They were right about everything. I was a fool, a blind, stupid fool. When I finally called my mother, she cried. She forgave me immediately. My father took longer, but eventually he forgave me too. Family is everything. I learned that too late." Tom leans forward. "Did you ever find out what happened to her, to Isabella?" Daniel nods. "Years later I heard through someone that she went back to Rome, back to her husband, back to her children. I heard he forgave her, or maybe he did not have a choice. I do not know. I do not care anymore. That part of my life is dead and buried." Henry, the quietest of the 4, finally speaks. "Did you ever love again?" A small smile crosses Daniel's face. "Yes," he says. 10 years later I met Sarah, my second wife. We were married for 25 years before she passed away from cancer. She knew everything about Isabella. I told her the whole truth before we got married. Sarah taught me what real love looks like. Real love is honest. Real love is patient. Real love does not hide in shadows. Daniel looks at his three friends. I am telling you this story for a reason, he says. Not for pity, not for sympathy, but as a warning. When you love someone, truly love someone, you must also use your mind, not just your heart. Love can make you blind. Love can make you stupid. Love can make you ignore every warning sign screaming at you. My family tried to warn me, but I refused to listen. I thought I knew better. I thought love conquered everything. If someone truly loves you, they will not hide things from you, Daniel says firmly. They will not keep secrets. They will not make you choose between them and your family. Real love brings people together. It does not tear them apart. Isabella made me give up everything, my family, my savings, my dignity, and she gave me nothing but lies in return. Mark nods slowly. That is a hard lesson to learn, he says. Tom adds, but an important one. Henry raises his coffee cup. To truth, he says. To family, to real love. The four men clink their cups together. Outside, the rain begins to slow. A little bit of sunlight breaks through the clouds. Daniel takes a deep breath. For 40 years he carried this weight alone. Now, finally, he has shared it. The pain is still there, the scar remains. But somehow, telling the story makes it lighter, makes it bearable. His friends sit with him in comfortable silence. No judgment, no pity, just understanding, just friendship. Just love of a different kind, the kind that lasts, the kind that is real. So what can we learn from Daniel's tragic story? First, when someone seems too perfect, ask questions. Isabella told Daniel exactly what he wanted to hear. She played the role of the lonely, beautiful woman who needed rescuing. It felt like a movie, but real life is not a movie. Real people have complications. Real people have pasts. Real people have flaws. Second, never ignore your family's concerns about someone you love. They see things you cannot see. They are not blinded by emotion. Daniel's mother, father, and sister all warned him, but he refused to listen. He thought they were being cruel, being unsupportive, but they were actually trying to protect him. They loved him enough to tell him hard truths. Third, love should not require you to give up everything. Real love adds to your life. It does not subtract from it. Isabella asked Daniel to turn his back on his family, to give her all his money, to trust her blindly. That is not love. That is manipulation. That is control. Finally, if someone is hiding things from you, there is always a reason. Isabella refused to talk about her past. She refused to introduce Daniel to anyone from her old life. She who NG up phone calls when he entered the room. These were red flags. Giant, waving red flags. But Daniel ignored them all. He wanted the fantasy so badly that he refused to see reality. Daniel's story is painful, but it is also powerful. He lost a year of his life. He lost his savings. He lost his dignity. But he gained wisdom. He learned what real love looks like. And he eventually found it with Sarah, the woman who loved him honestly, completely, without secrets or lies. If you are in a new relationship, take your time. Ask questions. Meet their family. Meet their friends. Let them meet yours. Do not rush into marriage with someone you barely know. Real love waits. Real love is patient. Real love does not hide. Thank you for watching this story until the end. Daniel's pain taught him valuable lessons about trust and love. Hopefully his experience can help you avoid making the same mistakes. If this story touched your heart, please hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel for more real-life stories like this one. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, love is beautiful, but wisdom is essential. Do not let your heart make you blind. Use your mind too. That is how you protect yourself. That is how you find real, lasting love. Until next time, take care of yourself, and take care of your heart.